Our final style challenger of the day is Mr. Michael Dale, who's a good friend of mine, I'd like to say, and a very sharp dresser indeed. Hello, Michael. How's it going?
Hi, good, thank you. You?
I'm very well, thanks. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do? I know you're fashion PR, but you've also got several projects you're involved in. What do you do on a sort of day-to-day basis, and how do the projects pop up?
Yeah, I mean, my main day-to-day job is fashion PR. I work for a big high street brand, and it's kind of my job to put them on the map, so to speak. And then also I have a little side project with a style collective called Sartorial 7. A friend of mine, Terry Donovan, you spoke to earlier, I believe.
Yeah.
And we are just basically, I guess our aim is to represent British menswear and try and put it on the map. And then also I do a little bit of writing for menswearstyle.co.uk.
Cool. And where do you, you always look very sharp every time I see you, very sartorial and on point.
Thank you.
Where do you get your style inspirations from?
I mean, it varies. Like, it'd be quite an obvious thing to say, movies, Boardwalk Empire, that kind of thing.
But
I would say a big inspiration for me is the street as well. Like, I get a real inspiration from, particularly in London and in Pity, you tend to see, that's where I get the most exciting kind of inspiration from, you know. People are really fearless, some of the things they wear on the street. So.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of, London's got a whole different energy, but Pity does the sort of classic tailoring. And Terry mentioned earlier, actually, in his interview, they're very bold with it, bold with their colours, bold with their checks, bold with their patterns, whereas the Brits go for a more sombre sort of, or more frequently, not on this occasion, but navy, your greys, your blues. They like to really push the boundaries out, I think.
Yeah, I think with British menswear, it's always much more considered and everything is very well put together, whereas, you know, it's a typical kind of Italian style to really go for that wow factor. So
A little bit of pizzazz.
like a mixture of the two.
How would you say that you get dressed of a morning? What do you wake up with? Is there a specific item you pick first, or is there a certain mood you're in, or?
Yeah, it's normally based on whatever I've got new sort of thing. So it could even be like I've bought a new pair of shoes, for example, and I'll just kind of build an outfit up from that. It could even be like I've just bought this 3-pack of bright coloured socks, and I'll be like, right, well, what goes with this orange pair of socks? And then it'll kind of work up from there.
I see. Very nice. Very nice. So what would you say is the best piece of style advice you've ever heard or been given by anyone?
Best piece of style advice, and it's kind of an obvious one that I think guys don't heed quite often, is less is more. I think, although I kind of applaud what they do in Pity, etc., it's still very considered what they do, and I think, you know, it's kind of a cliche thing to say, but always look in the mirror before you go out and probably take off one accessory. You know, it's quite a common thing now, especially with the rise of this whole sartorial thing, for you to see guys in, you know, they've got the tie clip, they've got the pocket square, they've got the pocket chain, maybe they've got 2 different coloured pocket squares in, they've got the jacket on that maybe fits them slightly too tightly, and just try and consider everything and just play it down a little bit more.
Just take a bit more consideration. Yeah. And the next question was going to be, what do you think is the most common mistake or the sartorial mishap you see most often? Do you think it's that?
Yeah, I think it's that, and I think again, like, just making sure that everything fits well rather than just fitting really snugly to your body, because I think that trend is kind of, it's gone to an extreme now where people have stuff adjusted to the point where nothing should ever be breaking on your buttons. You know, if it's fastened like that and you've got pulling, then it's too tight. I
think I've seen a lot of guys who, you know, a well-fitted suit looks great, but so many guys have suits that, like you say, like bulging at the seams, and it just doesn't look good, and it doesn't make the guy look particularly good, and it looks like it doesn't fit their body shape.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It should be narrow fitting. I mean, obviously, and slim fitting, and kind of work with the contours of your body rather than against them.